Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Lunar Classic, what has happened to it recently, and where I predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis here on this channel, and you're one of the 88% of people who watch my videos and are not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. And of course, without further ado, let's jump into Lunar Classic and what has happened. So need I say what an amazing day it was yesterday for everyone who was long on Lunar Classic, everyone who's been holding, because we saw a massive pump here on Lunar Classic, bring us all the way to around 28 cents. Which is amazing because, of course, as you can see over the past week or so, we've just been in a general downtrend here on Lunar Classic. Not much has been happening until we saw this pump here yesterday. So congratulations if you did manage to buy down here, or if you did trade this whatsoever. Of course, in my yesterday's video, I said that we could be seeing some sort of triangle formation here on Lunar Classic, and that the price target from that triangle here was the distance between support and resistance. You can see my video yesterday on this channel if you like. But basically, the price target of that should have been around this 25 cents region, and we did get to that 25 cents region, but we didn't even stop at that 25 cents region. We managed to plod on a lot higher up here, and that, if we measure that trade there, that would have been a 25% trade. So again, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you do want to see what's going on with Lunar Classic, then be sure to hit the subscribe. Now, where do I see the price going to in the near future? Do we think we're going to go up from here, or do we think we're going to go back down? Is this a fake pump, or is this a sustained move in a bullish direction for Lunar Classic? So to basically answer that, we've got these resistances here on the screen, and there's going to be some key things that we're looking for. So in fact, the first thing I'm going to talk about are these moving averages. Moving averages are looking very, very good. Of course, typically when the price is above the moving averages, then that is a bullish sign that we're in a bullish trend here on Lunar Classic. And as long as we stay above these moving averages, then we're going to be heading in a more bullish direction. Of course, if the price is below the moving averages, so in this region here, you can see that the price has been below all three moving averages, and we've been going in this downwards direction. So we want to stay above these moving averages. That's a bullish sign in the sense that we're now following a bullish trend. If I had to visually display this trend here, I would draw this trend line that connects the bottoms down here. So, we've got 4 tests now of this support that we have in yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see 4 solid tests of that support where the price has bounced down to it, comes straight back up. So to me, this is a solid support line. This is going to be reliable. So if the price stays above this support, then obviously we're bullish because that line is going in an upwards direction. The support is going in an upwards direction. So if it's supporting the price is going to be bullish until it is broken. So this is another reason why I'm bullish here on Lunar Classic. Was following this upwards trend line still, and we're above the moving averages. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is this line here in gray. You see this line in gray where the price kind of slices through, but at the same time kind of respects as well. So what we do see when the price came up, it came to this gray line that we have here on that 1 hour candle, and then shot straight back down. So you can see where the wick is. The price on a smaller time frame would have come up like this, and then eventually settled and closed the hour's candle down here before starting the new hour upwards. So we can see that would have been, so we can see on that candle, this is quite a respected resistance, and on the next candle as well. And finally, did we manage to break above? But we can also see on this candle here that the resistance was respected there as well. So this, to me, is a good sign that this resistance is quite a major one here on Lunar Classic. Of course, if I zoom out on the 4 hour time frame, you can also see it date back all the way to our local high here in mid-September here on Lunar Classic. So as you can see from that period, this line, this gray resistance that we have here has been tested once, twice, and several times in this region as well, making it a fairly reliable resistance here, and one to look out for in order for us to move forward. Of course, if it's a strong resistance and we're underneath right now, then we're going to come to an area where a decision has to be made by Lunar, whether we're going to keep this bullish trend or whether we're going to lose the support and follow this resistance downwards. So this is something I'm looking out for, because 2 strong trend lines here, one a resistance, one a support. Which way is Lunar going to go? So this is something I'm going to be on the lookout for. And of course, another one that I'm looking out for that's not immediately obvious was this trend line that held our previous bullish trend as well. So this is another thing that I'm looking for, because as you see, this was a previous bullish trend that we had here on a Lunar Classic before we broke through below this trend line here. So of course, this was throughout the course of late October here, and as you can see, again, a very strong trend line. I'm not going to point out all the tests just to save a bit of time, but you can see how many times the price has come down and bounced off this trend line here. So another one to look out for if we're going to be following a bullish direction. Can the price stay above this level here? So And if the answer is yes to any of these two yellow lines, then I'd love to see the Lunar Classic price plod on upwards to our anticipated target of 30 cents. It might be sooner or it might be later. Of course, if we follow this bullish trend line up, you see this one that I drew here first in yellow, then we're going to get there a lot quicker, for example. But if we follow this less bullish trend line but still bullish, then it's going to take us longer. But if we follow any one of those two, I do expect to hit 30 cents here on Lunar Classic. But if we cannot follow this, if we cannot break through this long-term resistance that we have, then it's going to be a while before we could potentially see bullish movement again. Of course, this here I believe will be some sort of long-term triangle. So the price, if we cannot break through this resistance, we'll do something like this, and we could see a potentially amazing breakout to the upside or the downside because of the size of this triangle in play here. So another thing that I'm looking out for, if we can break through this resistance here and keep up a more bullish trend, then we should be able to see 30 cents here on Lunar Classic. In terms of how far the price could potentially dip as well from this massive pump that we had here on Lunar Classic, all depends on these Fibonacci levels here. So basically these Fibonacci levels, sorry it's a little bit messy now on the screen with all these lines, but basically these Fibonacci levels should tell us where we could encounter zones of resistance and support, levels of resistance and support from a massive pump that we've just had. So in this case, we've seen this massive pump here from Lunar Classic. And of course, we should be seeing areas of resistance and support at these levels. So of course, this level at 0.236, 26 cents should be a major resistance level if we get back up there. So if the price were to shoot above again, then we should see price stop at this level and come back down a bit to test. And again, if we lose this 24.9 cents level here on Lunar Classic to 0.382 fib, then our next level down in theory should be the 0.5 fib at 24 cents. So depending on where the price goes, these are our very close term price targets on the 1 hour time frame. So if we see the price go up, so if the price goes up or down in the near future, then we should see these price levels respected. So if it goes down, our next target should be 24 cents here. And if we go up, then our next price target should be 26 cents here. So that's something as well that I'm looking out for. Of course, I'm going to post everything on my trading view as I see them come up. So do be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description below. And of course, I do think we can hit 30 cents, but only if the rest of the crypto market follows suit as well. So if we're seeing bullish behavior from all of the cryptos, then I do think we can plod higher to that 30 cents region here on Lunar Classic. Of course, if we have a look at Bitcoin, for example, then Bitcoin again has gone on this massive tear, has gone on this massive run up here. We've broken out of this triangle. So if we have a look at the first test of resistance on this triangle here, we did break out and we did reach our price target on Bitcoin. So this was a triangle that we saw. We saw a nice breakout here with increase in volume and large momentum with those green candles that we see there. And we finally hit a price target at 21,380 there. So if you did trade this triangle on Bitcoin, congratulations to you. And of course, the fact that we've done this run up, so that 5% gain on Bitcoin there, adds a bullish bias to what altcoins such as Lunar Classic are doing. So of course, when Bitcoin was doing that massive run up that it was to 21,300, we saw in exactly the same time frame Lunar Classic managed to do this pump from 22 cents to 28 cents, a 25% increase there. So that's the kind of bullish bias that I'm talking about. When Bitcoin's making these bullish moves, then we typically see it in Lunar Classic. It's not always the case. It's not always going to be perfect, this relationship. Sometimes Lunar Classic or Bitcoin will pump, and sometimes Bitcoin will pump and Lunar Classic won't, and vice versa. But generally speaking, it's always good policy to check what Bitcoin is doing. So if we hold ourselves to that, then if we have a look at Bitcoin right now, do we think Bitcoin is going to go higher? Or do we think we're going to retrace this pump that we've done on Bitcoin? So again, at the moment on Bitcoin, we're above these moving averages that we have here. So that's a good sign that we could be in this bullish trend here on Bitcoin. Of course, if we go on a slightly longer time frame on Bitcoin, I've been monitoring this kind of channel that Bitcoin looks like it's been trading in. So something that kind of loosely looks like this. And I do think Bitcoin has extended out of that channel. Of course, whether it can remain above that is a question of whether we can stay above this yellow line here. So if we dip below, say, 21,200, then I do think Bitcoin is still going to be bullish, but it's going to be just hovering in a channel that looks kind of like this, for example. But if we can remain above 21,200 on Bitcoin and Bitcoin pushes higher like this, then that's going to be a whole different story. So scenario one where Bitcoin does this in this channel, for example, just bouncing around in a very slow bullish direction, then I think it would take longer for Lunar Classic to hit that 30 cents region. It still could, but we probably will not see it in the near term future. But in scenario two, where Bitcoin has broken out of this channel that it's been in for the best part of 2 months now, and it starts a new trend in this upwards direction. So above 21,200, and we break to around the 21,600 here. So basically, if we bounce off 21,200, get to 21,600 on Bitcoin and continue higher with a lot of momentum and volume, then Lunar Classic, I do believe, should be able to hit 30 cents a lot sooner. And when I say a lot sooner, over the next coming days or so. So if you can see this trend line here, I think this trend line is fitting for if Bitcoin continues its march up towards 22,000 here. But if we see Bitcoin in this generally bullish direction, but obviously bouncing up and down between this channel here, then we'll probably see Lunar Classic a little bit more sideways trading, maybe in the slightly bullish direction here, but generally in a direction that looks more like this. And I don't think 30 cents will be hit anytime soon. So this is another thing I'm looking out for Bitcoin. Of course, I'm looking out for any chart patterns in both as well that come up. At the moment, we've just come up from this pump and we've come back down from what looks like to be some sort of very short-term triangle that looks like this. And now again, we're consolidating. If we go on the 15-minute chart, actually, just to show you in a bit more detail, again, it looks like we could be consolidating in a pattern like this. Very short-term stuff. So I won't be trading something like this because, you know, the price target of this won't be very much, but I'm always looking out for consolidation patterns like triangles, particularly on the 1 hour time frame that have large price targets. So major moves, at least 5% in either direction on Lunar Classic. If it's 1 or 2%, it's not worth it. But right now, I'm not really seeing anything here on Lunar Classic in terms of chart patterns, apart from this triangle that we could have formed here a little bit earlier today. But of course, all that might change as time goes on. So if I do see any chart patterns here that offers a clear tradable signal, then I will post it on my trading view again. So be sure to follow me as well. Be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description below. But it's really good to see Bitcoin. It's really good to see Lunar Classic do these major moves here. Of course, another thing that I do want to say as well is I do think we're seeing some altcoins super extended here. So BNB, for example, has seen this massive pump that we've not seen on BNB since April. If I go on the day chart and just take it off that log scale there, you can see the amount of power that BNB has had in that pump there. And of course, is this sustainable? Well, a good rule of thumb is if it's a bear market, then typically people will tend to take profits. So these pumps here on Matic, on BNB, Matic has been absolutely insane since we pumped to $1.30 from basically 71 cents the other day. So literally a nearly 100% gain on a top 10 crypto. So basically, as you can see, all cryptos are basically up right now. We've got Solana at 35. We've got Dogecoin, you know, it's still up 100% from where it was 2 weeks ago. And we've just got most of the major cryptocurrencies doing really well at the moment. So of course, rule of thumb in a bear market is when things are doing very, very well, people are more quick to take profits. And when we see things like BNB, things like Matic, you know, top 10 cryptocurrencies making huge gains like that, we do typically see some retracement. So if I had to guess at which direction Bitcoin, for example, do, and therefore the rest of the cryptocurrency market, I do think that we're going to be bound in this channel a little bit longer. We should see the prices come down as people take their profits, you know, from this nice gain. Literally, if you bought Bitcoin at any point after 13th of September here, then you would be in profit right now. So imagine all those people that bought in this period who are probably well into profits. They're well aware that the economy is very bad. They're more quick to jump to take profits and thus bring the price down. And particularly so as well with BNB, with Solana, with Ethereum. So I do think this channel is more likely where the price bounces up and down. And therefore, I do think it's more likely for Lunar Classic to follow a less bullish trend here at this very time. But of course, my predictions are never perfect, and if Bitcoin does break through, then that would be amazing, and that could actually start a new bull run. Since we've been in this channel now for such a long time, and now we've just broken out of it, it's quite amazing to see, literally. So in summary, I'd love to see Lunar Classic, I'd love to see Bitcoin head higher if that is possible, but at the same time, we've got to be realistic. We're in a bear market, and we've seen a massive pump. So I think the bias is going to be a little bit more sideways here, but if Bitcoin can keep pumping, then we should see prices head towards our beloved 30 cents level here on Lunar Classic. And from here, that would represent about a 17% gain. Of course, we nearly hit it back here at 28 cents. So it should be doable. But that's all I'm going to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know in the comments down below whether you are holding any Lunar Classic. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I'll see you in my next video.